Welcome to the review. This is the 2017 Jaguar F-Type S convertible. So as I start with all my reviews, let's take it from the top. 2017 Jaguar. Again, that's its year and make. F-Type will be your model. S is the trim level. And then of course this is the convertible. So again, this is the F-Type S. So typically when you're looking at Jaguar F-Types, you really have three main trim levels. So your first one would be the base. That has about 300 horsepower. The next would be this one, the F-Type S. It has 380 horsepower. And then your third one would be the F-Type R. So the R is an entirely different animal. It's got 550 horsepower generated from a V8 engine, and your 0 to 60 time there is 3.9 seconds. That car is ferocious, beautiful, and terrifically fun to drive. I drove it actually when I was on a trip in California, but again, it's an entirely different animal. So today we'll be discussing the F-Type S. So the F-Type S, let's just start from the top in terms of performance. It's a 3-liter V6 supercharged engine that produces 380 horsepower and 339 pound-feet of torque. 0 to 60 time there is 4.8 seconds, but as always, we're never in a vacuum. So let's talk about performance compared to that Audi S5, for instance. So this one has 30 more horsepower, slightly less torque, but the Audi had a 0 to 60 time of 4.5 to 4.8 seconds. This one is 4.8 seconds. So again, you might ask why, given this one has more horsepower. Pretty simply, this is rear-wheel drive, the Audi is all-wheel drive. So again, when I put my foot down on this, you might hear it. This one has some slippage on the back wheels, kind of some wheel spin. The Audi didn't have any of that. The Audi being all-wheel drive, constantly pushing it forward. This one has some slippage, so I think that's why you kind of see that being a little bit slower. Now, as I take this on the interstate, or the highway for a second, you can hear the downshift. It has a really nice gurgle as well, as you can hear. Put my foot down again in a second. So I went to the left, which puts it into sport drive. So now let's talk about what I might call kind of your eco numbers. So this is an 8-speed automatic transmission. In terms of gas mileage, you're looking at 20, 23, 28 in regards to city, combined, and highway MPG. So I think that's fantastic. This is a sports car. This isn't supposed to be an eco car. This isn't supposed to be a Toyota Prius or some sort of hybrid. This is supposed to be a fun sports car, and you're looking at 28 MPG on the top end. I think that's great. I think that's more than reasonable MPG for a car like that. I would say it's great. Next, let's talk about price. Brand new, this was $85,000. So definitely an expensive car, but I think like the Audi in that it kind of depreciated pretty quickly because it's not just the name brand BMW or Mercedes. I think you see the same thing here. The Jaguar, as of today, with this model, would be around $25,000 to $30,000. And I think that is incredible. I just think Jaguar depreciates pretty quickly. Maybe it's kind of more expensive. People think it's more expensive than it actually is, or people just want an Aston. But point is, I think that value here is pretty incredible right now. So this is the front. As you can see, the front, it does have very clean design language, kind of like the Audi. You can see it has sleek curves here, not as rigid as the Audi, but definitely still there. Very clean ground effects as well. As you go to the side, I really do like the black rims. Definitely makes it easier to clean, and also I just really like the way that it's all black on black. As you move to the side, here's the trunk. You've got kind of the two, as I might call them, trumpet exhausts down the middle. And then that's pretty much it. So as you get into the car, one thing you might notice immediately is kind of how you sit into it. It really feels like a driver's car just because you really feel like you're a part of it and you sit into that bathtub construction. So as you get in, you can see this is a 2017. It really is still fully analog display. So you got the analog on both sides and then kind of the digital display in the middle. Now you've got the steering wheel. I typically don't like all the buttons on the steering wheel, but I think this one is laid out pretty well. You've got your cruise control here. You've got kind of your volume and to control kind of the computer system here. Now as you move over, you can see there are still a ton of switches here. All buttons here, all buttons here. You have switches here, and then more buttons down here. Now as you move further back, You've got a pretty gracious center console. Also an auxiliary console back here. And you have your glove box here. So it's split up pretty well. As far as this, really I'm going to focus on these buttons down here. If you put this to the left, you've got a sport mode. Down here you've got a track mode and kind of a snow mode, or kind of traction control mode. Your volume here. And then this is what I call the fun switch. This car is a tunable exhaust. So once you have this selected, it actually opens up the exhaust, and that's where you get that super rich, throaty sound. And then this, you can choose to put the spoiler up, but it does also just come up once you hit a certain speed as well. So now, as I'm in this, let's put the top down. So you can see how quickly it is. So you can see it's going down, and then it gets seated in there. So this is it with the top down. So you can see, again, still a very clean design language. And then you can also see, one thing I actually do really like about the car is it has these very nice kind of head protectors, I guess. I don't know exactly what you could call them, but it gives a very nice, aggressive kind of roadster look to the back of it. That I think kind of gives a very nice look to it overall. And there's the inside as well. Now, as we look at the trunk is not great. It's definitely a pretty small trunk overall. You can see that's really all you have. This is my hand, so I would really say you could fit kind of one duffel here, maybe one duffel on top on either side. But the trunk is definitely not a selling point here. It's a small trunk, it's a sports car. It is what it is. So now, as I'm kind of concluding my review, let's talk about everything briefly. So for the exterior, I'm gonna rate this an 8. I think this is one of the best looking cars. Everyone that I've ever driven with, and myself included, I think it's one of the most gorgeous cars. I think it really hits all aspects, and it has very clean lines, it has very aggressive looking markings on it, and I think it is one of my favorite looking cars, period, bar none. That's simple. Interior, I'm also going to give it an 8. The bathtub construction that allows you to kind of sit in the car, it really makes it a driver's car. And then this whole cockpit with all the switches, it's extremely easy to navigate while you're driving. The paddle shifters are great. Even the button layout, I think sometimes the button layouts on cars can be a little bit annoying and kind of too much. I do like this one. So now let's talk about performance. I think this is going to be the lowest for this car. I'm rating it a 6. It's a sports car, and it's just 4.8 seconds. I don't think it's quick enough. I think if you had all-wheel drive, it definitely would be quicker. But this is a sports car at 4.8 seconds. It's just not that fast for what it should be, I think. Now let's talk about feel. I love this car. It feels great. Feel, I'm going to go with an 8. I just think, as I put my foot down here, like the acceleration there, it feels much faster than it actually is, and it sounds much faster than it actually is, and I think that's great. I reviewed a BMW M3 competition in DC, or I drove one. And what was nice about that car was it was a ton of fun, but you had to be going really quick for it to sound great. This car, you can be going 30 and it sounds like you're going 70 or 80. It sounds like you're going 0 to 60 in 3 seconds and you're doing 4.8. So in terms of the feel, I really think that's a value, because you can drive at very safe speeds and very cautious speeds and still experience that feel and experience that great tight driving with the fantastic exhaust. Now lastly, value. Again, this car as spec'd, 2017 Jaguar F-Type S convertible, you're looking at around 25 to 30, depending on how many miles you get. For a sports car that looks like this, with this level of feel, exterior and interior, I haven't found a car that I would prefer more in that price range. So now if you've got kids or something and you need 4 doors, okay, like you need 4 seats, that's entirely different. I understand that. But for a 2-seat convertible of this tier, it's incredible. It's really that simple. So again, I'm going to give it an 8 for value. So if you like this review, make sure to subscribe. I'm definitely going to be looking to doing more kind of car review content like this. I think these car reviews, as a viewer myself, I think are very interesting to also kind of get people's view on the car as well.